So, Griff, what's going on, man?
How are you?
I'm good, sir. Thank you, first off, for doing this. The quarantine beard is in effect, as we both see here. Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks for doing this. Obviously, we've known each other for some time. Wanted to bring you on as one of the first brothers that I met in the industry, a whiskey fan. See, now you're already in. I haven't started yet. I'm finishing up the work day, but I'm gonna be on there with you in a minute. So yeah, let's just get started. Let's talk a little bit about the whiskey lifestyle and how it got started.
We got the whiskey lifestyle started. The idea came probably 9 years ago, and the reason why I started it was because of two people you know, Pope, actually three, Pope, Cam, and Dwayne, and they came to me being like, "That's a great idea, and what do you want to do with it?" So it started out as a kind of as a T-shirt company at first with no content.
Right.
So Pope would design, and then we would come up with ideas, and then we pitch the idea to get some money. And then that's pretty much how I got rolling. Got rolling 5 years ago.
Okay.
After today, probably 5 years ago. But it was just purely out of love for, obviously, I'm in the industry.
Mm-hmm.
I've been doing this for 17 years or 18 years behind a bar. And I just wanted to do some clothing like that I like to wear, because sometimes you get the clothing from other companies. No names have been mentioned, but the clothing was not great.
Right.
The clothing wasn't that great. So I figured, why don't we? I never seen anybody do a entire whiskey line of clothing, or just spirits line that I want, like you can wear out and wear about. Tank tops, hats, and T-shirts. That's where we started. Now we're up to sweatshirts, and then move on to the next step.
Okay. Cool. And yeah, tell me a little bit. I was remiss in not, giving a little bit of background on you. Tell me a little bit about how you got started in the industry.
All right. I used to be a sub teacher, so I used to teach high school. So I was a permanent sub in a high school and coached football, basketball, track.
Okay.
And then on the weekends, my side job was bartending.
Mm-hmm.
So during the summers when there's no school, I would bartend to make extra money.
Okay.
Then I came into the city, didn't really have that much experience. I had they want you to have New York experience.
Right. Right.
So back in the day, you had to throw parties at bars and be a guest bartender.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So you would come in, there'd be other bartenders behind the bar with you, and then you would legit be at the bar, bartending with other people, not really know what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you got people, as long as you got asses in the door, that's when people really enjoyed what you can bring to the table. So I threw a couple parties, and my first job was Tavaroo down in East Village.
Okay.
I threw a party, and then they hired me for the day shift, where I worked 5 days a week. Not making a lot of money.
Okay.
I handed out resumes left and right. I wasn't even getting anything. So then, in short, I met my future business partner and best friend, who has a Whiskey Brooklyn, Whiskey Tavern, Whiskey Town. That's when everything kind of jumped off.
And was it that meeting that got you into whiskey? Tell me a little bit about your own personal whiskey experience. Obviously, having a whiskey lifestyle.
Yeah, the thing is too, for people. I mean, people who know me know I wasn't into whiskey probably till 2003.
Okay.
I was still drinking martinis, anything sweet.
Mm-hmm.
But my friend George put me on to drinking whiskey and actually tasting whiskey and enjoying whiskey. Because I didn't enjoy it at all. I had to have it diluted, put Coke in it, ginger ale, whatever I can find my hands on to make sure I can taste it. But yeah, I mean, that was pretty much it. It was 2003, 2004.
Okay. And tell everybody a little bit more about the Whiskey Brooklyn and the whiskey bars across New York City.
So Whiskey Lifestyle is a separate company affiliated with the bars. But the bars I work for are Whiskey Brooklyn, which is on North 11th and Berry. The Whiskey Annex is right above that. Those are on Williamsburg.
Mm-hmm.
Tom and Jones, which is on the other side of town, is in Williamsburg. The Big Whiskey in Williamsburg. Mm-hmm. And then the Little Whiskey is in Bushwick.
Okay.
So there's 4 or 5 here, and then the other two are Whiskey Town on 3rd Street, 2nd Avenue in the city, and then Whiskey Tavern is downtown in Chinatown.
Okay. And as a whiskey, I'm gonna call you whiskey expert. I know you might say you're not, but I'm gonna call you whiskey expert. As a whiskey expert, what are you seeing people, pre-COVID, and we can get into that as well. But when everything was quote unquote normal and cats were coming into the bar, what were you seeing in terms of whiskey orders where, obviously you have, I know we've often talked about people just coming in and getting shots, but, what kind of trends, if any, were you seeing in the industry and what people are drinking?
Pretty much the basic, like I was telling, like we discussed this behind the scenes, but like basic things that whatever's popular. So Maker's Mark was as usual. Drink Jack Daniels. That's it. Bullet, which I drink myself, but like Bullet. It was always the basic things. Like usually people get to the bar and they really are interested. You got to explain to them what's going on.
Right.
And especially people who want to dive into something different. Like, as you know, I'm a big beer fan. Love all that stuff. So the trend was whatever's popular, that's what people were drinking.
Gotcha.
Gotcha.
But obviously, as you mentioned, some of that is also education. So, and it also kind of brings it back to the Whiskey Lifestyle and how I joined you guys. Full disclosure, I am part of the Whiskey Lifestyle. I write the content for the blog as well as a couple other folks. But, I think one of the initial conversations we had was about how do you educate people on whiskey and how do you bring that lifestyle to life. So for you, when you're talking to people at a bar and someone says they come in and they want to order something different or they want to try something different, expand their palate, what is that process like for you?
The process is I always ask them what they have first, what they like to drink. And then you go from there, because this way, if it is, let's say it is Maker's Mark, they want to do a Scotch, whatever they want to do, you go from that level to the next level of what you think they should have. You just don't jump in and be like, oh, want some Pappy Van Winkle? Like, you just don't jump over the hoop. Like, you try to build them up this way, because certain things are harsher, certain things are sweeter, and there's so many palettes and colors with the whiskey that you can do. So you try to make it a nice level and a little easy for them to sip on, to move on. And then you just kind of teach them. Like, you can do a whiskey tasting, which is like 3 or 4 whiskeys.
Right.
I will pour out and let them taste each whiskey, let them know where it's from, and then like let them taste it for themselves, and then it can go from there. And usually people jump on it and be like, oh, okay, I like this a lot better than I like the other thing I was drinking.
Right. All right. And let's talk a little bit about what are you drinking? I saw you had a glass there. What are you sipping on right now?
Oh, so I have this.
Okay. Yes. Oh wow, you have made quite a dent in that. If for those of you who don't know, we were offline. We've been, Griffin and I talk all the time, and he found a nice, that was what we might call the unicorn bottle, not because it's unique in its branding, but it's unique in its size. Okay, so we're drinking Eagle Rare. All right. Okay.
It's been a long quarantine.
It has been a long quarantine, man. It has.
So that was, I've had that for about 3 weeks.
Okay.
I think. It's almost done.
Yeah. So to that point, how has being a bartender during this time, quarantine, COVID, et cetera, tell me what that's been like, kind of what is it, what has it been like? What are you thinking about in these moments?
I think most of the time I always say to people, like, what I miss most is interaction with people. I like the energy of a bar. I like the sound of people shake glasses. I like the sound of ice in a shaker. I miss that sound that like happiness people like me in the bar. Do you miss all the aspects of the bar? No, you don't miss people screaming, yelling, throwing up in your bathroom. Like, you don't miss all that stuff. You miss the aspect of actually having a choice to go to a bar and like just chill out. I miss the aspect of like seeing my coworkers or my good friend JoJo. Like, I miss like the daily routine of it. Definitely miss. And in this right now, just serving like outside your door or your bar and not being able to interact with people, it's kind of strange. Okay. But I totally support it and I get it. So don't make my like. Of course. I totally get it.
Yeah. So you mentioned you came into the city. What you didn't mention is that you, like I'm a Jersey boy. So I know people give Jersey all kinds of flack, but we're gonna rep Jersey as 2 Jersey individuals right now. So tell me, like you said, you made the move from Jersey to the city. What initially inspired that? Was it looking for the opportunities, or?
No. So I guess a couple of pieces I messed out was I was doing acting at the point. I was doing auditions in the city the whole time. So I was coming back and forth from like substitute teaching, and then I take a day off, come in the city and do like 3 or 4 auditions, go back home. My friends live in Hoboken, so I drive there, leave my car there. It was a whole trifecta. Okay. But like, you got here and you got the energy, because I grew up in the suburbs, so like partially in the suburbs, so like that energy the city gives you don't get that there. Right. Okay. So
go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, just moving here, like getting here, and one of my friends, Elizabeth, had an apartment, so I was like, I'm moving.
So the ironic thing is, as you're talking about this in the suburbs, I don't know if anyone else can hear this, but there's someone blowing leaves or running their lawnmower because I live in the suburbs still. So literally on cue, it's like, all right, that tracks. So okay, so an actor. So that also explains that you have you know, if people go to whiskeyLifestyle.com, you have a lot of famous friends. We have a lot of friends of the brand who are in the Hollywood space. If you want to talk a little bit about some of the fans of the brand and friends of the brand, rather, not even fans, we call them friends. So some of the friends of the brands and what they're doing, because obviously those brothers deserve some shine as well.
Yeah, some of my friends, like Tone Bell is one of our great, Rojo, he's a comedian. Jay Larson, they all support the Whiskey Lifestyle. Me and Jay Larson actually used to bartend together.
Okay.
So we were in the West Village together, bartending together before he went off to LA to do what he's doing. And like those are my friends who like go out and help us support, get the word out. I do enjoy it. A lot of people say it all the time. Like I do enjoy LA. I do enjoy being out there with my friends. Right. And then just pretty much my friends just work in the industry and just support the cause.
Yeah. You know, and to that end, if anyone wants to cop one of these, you know, one of these shirts right here, or a cap like Griff is wearing, I forget what the code is, but we do have a code. I'm gonna drop the code in stories later. Cam is gonna kill me because I forgot the code. I believe it's whiskey bar time, but we're gonna make it work. Cam, my bad, because I'm assuming he's here somewhere or is yelling somewhere. But Cam did all the great graphics for this takeover, so shout out to Cam. Thank you, appreciate you doing that. You know, we're about 15 minutes in, so man, you know, I think we can open it up in a couple minutes to questions. So if you want to hit the little question joint at the bottom, you can, and or just put them in the comments. If I see them, hopefully I can answer any questions. I think, but I would be remiss because you're in Brooklyn, because I see the artwork behind you, because we often have a conversation about the music. If you want to talk about the man,
this is
man Hove.
This is actually Pope.
There you go.
Our designer designed this and had this. He had it at a spot, and he gave it to me one day because he knows I'm a huge Jay-Z fan. I'm pretty much a groupie. So
yeah, okay. So what is the favorite Jay album? Because I'll even do you one better, I will I do the hot take all the time, and I truly mean this. I am not gaslighting. Reasonable Doubt is not my favorite Jay-Z album. I'm gonna say it. I said it. I don't want the internet to shut down. I don't want the Beehive to come for me. I do love Jay-Z. I do love Jay-Z albums. I'm gonna say that The Blueprint is my favorite Jay-Z album. I know, again, it's a hot take, so I'm putting myself out there.
One or two?
Blueprint one, of course, one.
Okay.
I believe it, for me, I think it almost goes Blueprint 1, the Black Album, Reasonable Doubt. I know it's a very polarizing statement, but I stand by it.
Not polarizing. I think it's when the time you, like I always tell people, it's the time when you jumped onto Jay. I mean, there's Jay fans who just came out in 2016. So I mean,
true, very true.
For me, Reasonable Doubt speaks to me, so that was my first one. The Black Album. It goes Black Album and then Blueprint.
Okay. Fair enough.
Black Album. I mean, I wore the bars I worked in. Anybody knows me. I wore that album out.
Hey man. So what? Same here. Reasonable. What is it? What is the track on Reasonable? Or what is the J track in general? Whether it's Reasonable Doubt or what is your? I'm not even gonna say your favorite. You need to get in. You know, you need to get out. You're about to hit the gym. What is the track you put on?
Oh, the Evils.
Okay. Why is that?
Evils start me off. Just the whole story about the Evils. I don't know. I have no idea. I can tell you right now to this day.
Okay.
Grown man. Something about that song.
Okay.
I start from there, and I can go. I mean, it's pretty bad. I mean, I listen to Jay pretty much every day. So it's in the mix at some point every day.
Hey, man, listen, brother. It's if I need a moment, it's not Jay, it's the Roots. Do you want more from start to finish? It is. We all have our things, and that is the beauty of music. So we do have a question from Caps Forever. Do we like Glenlivet? Thoughts?
Personally, I will move towards. I don't drink Glenlivet a lot.
Okay.
Is it one of my? Nah, I can't say I like. Do I like it? Yeah, I like it, but I don't drink it a lot.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, same. I think if I'm going to drink a scotch, it's typically going to be a single malt. I will say Glenlivet is one of those scotches that are doing some really interesting things in terms of blending lately. I know they did the Caribbean Reserve recently, which, you know, shout out. We wrote about it on the site, so check it out at thewhiskeylifestyle.com. But yeah, they definitely do some interesting things. I like the way they're trying to market to a younger audience. Obviously, scotch is what people think is of is that quote unquote old man's drink. But I think as we see with bourbon and with rye, and now people get more into scotch, is that there is no age statement, if you will, in terms of when you should start drinking these things. And as you said, we both came into it, in our 20s or 30s, but so it's not just that old man's drink.
Yeah, I think scotch is personally. I think scotch is a rough place to start drinking whiskey, like to start kind of jump off point.
Okay.
I think it's a build up. It was a build up for me when I first tasted scotch. I didn't like it, but I did get into Japanese scotches that I liked a lot.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So that was a little bit sweeter for me. That makes sense. Less smoky, but yeah. I don't even know if I ever had one live in my house.
Okay. I don't have a bottle now because I did finish the Caribbean Reserve, but I am the dude who I started off. Ironically, no, that's a lie. I started off with Irish whiskey, but I went from Irish whiskey to Scotch. I jumped over America until recently, and I'm still, if I'm going out and I want something that is, I know is a staple, it's gonna be a Macallan 12. But at the same time, they're great. I love a bourbon. I love what people are doing in the rye space. Oh, shout out to St. Cloud Bourbon is on. Yeah. So what up, man? As another new bourbon, another brother doing his thing on the bourbon front. All right, we got any other questions? You want to talk anything you want to mention, Griff? While I'm scrolling through to see if there are any other questions out here.
No, not really. I mean, the thing is, everyone stay safe, and I hope we come out of this come out of these houses soon and get everything.
Right.
Other than that, I don't think it's gonna be a normal anymore.
Right.
So I'm kind of not sick, but people they're like, "Oh, go back to normal." I don't think it's gonna be normal anymore.
Right.
I think, and I don't want to hear new normal either, but I just don't think it's gonna be normal anymore.
Okay. So what do you see what do you hope to see when you get back to that? When you're back at the bar, behind the bar, rocking the whiskey lifestyle, fitted, of course, rocking a hat. What is what do you think that first, once you got to back up, what is that gonna be like?
I really don't know.
But we know Jay will be playing. Jay will be playing in the background.
Yeah. I imagine like people in the room and stuff, but I don't know how it's like gonna look. Because human nature is that people go to the bars to meet friends, meet women, meet men, meet everybody, do what you have to do, and like they have to stand across from each other, not talk to each other, not engage.
Right.
It's a rough kind of go to kind of have that kind of vibe, and that's why you go to bars for. It's a vibe.
Absolutely.
And just to have that kind of vibe is like it's gonna be. I don't know. It's gonna be different.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. But and to your point, that is one of those places, those communal places where people come together, and for it to be not to be able to do that is going to be. It has been odd. I know for me personally, I love being able to go just shoot the shit at a bar and hang out, whether it's dive bar, high end cocktail bar, whatever. And not being able to do that, and you can drink at home, but it's definitely not the same. You don't get that.
Yeah, drinking at home is not the same.
Okay. No, but it's not the same. You gotta be a little bit. I mean, the drinks are cheaper, but you gotta be a little more careful.
Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to doing the pop up again for Whiskey Lifestyle. We can kind of figure out how to do it, but getting back to that kind of stuff and like getting our word out there, getting our message out there with you writing and with Pope, Dwayne, and Cam, getting our stuff together. I think it's been good though since we all been home and trying to structurally look at the way we do the social media stuff and stuff like that. So that's pretty much it. Yeah.
So I would normally ask someone what's next, but I do know on the Whiskey Lifestyle front, we are talking about doing more of these on the Whiskey Lifestyle handle, which is what Griffin's on right now. So we're talking about doing something called the Whiskey Lifestyle. So this is our introduction to that. So at some point I'm gonna figure out a way to have my camera set up where I'm not holding it, making sure that the film is not shining too hard. But it's what we did today. We're gonna be doing some more of that. Check out the site. I will again drop the discount code. And thank you everybody who's come through. I was gonna say if we could have ended on 420, I would have felt like that would have been really just on brand. But we're a minute behind. It's all good. But I'm gonna let people get to that other thing. I may pour a little something right now. I just did pick up a unicorn bottle that I'm gonna show on my next live. So again at 6, we're gonna be live again with my man OJ Lima from Taste Select Repeat. We'll be talking about barrel picks and all that good stuff. So we'll be back live. Griff, thank you so much, brother. Appreciate you as always.
We'll be back again doing this again. Thank you.
All right, man. Take it easy, guys.